Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Heroes. I'm Mike Kenichi, and I'm really excited tonight because tonight's guest, not only did I go to school with her, but she has really taken off. I mean, she is currently on the Fox hit show 99 to Beat. She's gotten by the second round. If you saw last week's episode, she was in it quite a bit, and we're going to talk all about that. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Dee Ortiz. And Dee, thank you for coming on today. It's a real honor for me.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on here with you.
So, Dee, I can remember as far back as high school, you'd always said you wanted to get into TV. You didn't care, what it might be, commercials, whatever, but that was like a dream you had as at a very young age. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so ever since I was younger, I always wanted to be on TV, be in movies, be in commercials, and coming from a small town, trying to do that was really hard. So I remember being 16 and having my dad drive me to auditions in the city or dropping me off at the train at 16 years old. And I'd go to auditions, like things that like probably I should have gone to, like example runway show auditions. And being 5 feet, they'd be like, what is she doing here? But I'd walk in there with all the confidence, and a lot of times I ended up getting booked to like host or basically just do like whatever around helping out. So I always loved behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes, but just the industry itself has always been a passion to me, something I always wanted to do. I love being around people, meeting new people, seeing how TV and basically any movies or commercials, everything is made. I've always just been very interested in being in front of, the camera.
Right. And let me ask you, Dee, was there ever like any shows or any actresses that you kind of looked up to when you were younger that made you really get a love for acting?
Oh, definitely. I mean, at first it was always, I started off dancing young, and I used to watch Rosie Perez and then like In Living Color. And then that's when I saw J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. She was actually a dancer on In Living Color with Rosie Perez. And both of them have always been like a big deal for me, being Puerto Rican. And, I basically wanted to do it all. I loved dancing. I loved dancing since I was younger, in like second grade. And then I was a cheerleader, but then also, being able to do movies and commercials. And I wanted to do it all. Basically, I just loved watching everything they accomplished. So, and I wanted to try and follow. Obviously I'm not as big, but I definitely had people to look up to, which was nice.
Right. And Dee, the thing of it is, a lot of people, whether they do it on purpose or not, they will tell you, listen, that's not a dream that's realistic. But with that said, you never let that stop you. Even when there had been times you were discouraged, what kept you going to follow this dream?
Before I had my daughter, it was just something that I just kept wanting to do. My dad is very has had only two jobs his whole life. So whenever I ended up getting up and just moving to Atlanta, being a car model, being on TV for that, being in magazines, being in front of cameras. He was always like, you need a full-time job. You need a 9 to 5, but it just never worked for me. I had great jobs at Pitney Bowes. I've worked at, dealerships. I've had it all, but I was never happy unless I was in front of a camera or I was around a lot of people or just basically shining wherever I could. So, my dad, like I said, even till this day, he's like, you need to calm down. You need to focus. But I knew inside that I always was meant for more. And no matter what, I keep trying, and I'm never going to give up until I actually make it where I want to make it. So.
Yeah. And that's a great attitude to have, because you're not going to make it if your attitude's going to be, well, right, what are my chances? Otherwise, if you don't believe you could do it, it won't happen. You have to believe it. And it doesn't matter if others believe it or not. You have to believe it in your heart. And you've kept that going. Like I said, we're talking over 30 years and you still have the passion for it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dee, but after high school, you would do a lot of things in New York City as an extra and things like that. So just talk about doing, sometimes that stuff isn't always fun, but you have to do it in order to kind of get your foot in the door.
Right. It was a lot of, getting on the train and running to auditions. And, like I said, I walk in and I'm like, oh my God, you just can't look at everybody because then you did get discouraged. And I just walked in with all the confidence, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this. And I mean, it took me a lot to get things. I ended up doing extra parts in different movies. And my favorite thing that I got to do, which was my favorite, I started dancing on MTV. I was a hip hop dance show called Direct Effect, where Funkmaster Flex was the DJ. They would have artists from back in the day, like the good ones, like Maya and Ja Rule, and everybody would come in. They'd perform live, and I'd backup dance for them. And that was the most incredible thing. And I look back at that, and that was definitely like the start to really feeling what it felt like to always be on TV and seen. And it was just such a good feeling to mix everything from dancing, meeting amazing artists, to being around that world. And that really kind of jump started like how I really wanted to get into the industry, no matter how it was, like the music side, the commercial side, the TV side, it all kind of comes together eventually. And from there, I ended up moving to Atlanta, where I did do TV work and everything. So,
and the thing is, in this type of business, Dee, and whatever you're trying to do, you're going to have disappointment. Not everything's going to go the way you hope it would. You're going to sometimes you're going to, get passed over for auditions, things like that. What has kept you from getting discouraged, though? Because I know that probably had to be tough at times, because you're trying to make a career of this, and you've hit some roadblocks along the way, which everybody does. So what keeps you from getting discouraged?
I've always been one. I'm not a quitter. When I want something, I'm a Gemini. I throw that out there first and foremost all the time, because I'm very determined. Once I see something I want, it could be a job, it could be a casting, it could be anything. I go for it, and I go like full force. I never stop and doubt myself. Yes, I've, had different things happen, but when I lived in Atlanta, I got a lot of opportunity. Now it's different. I do have my daughter, and now she's basically the reason why I do everything and keep pushing, because no matter what, now I have somebody watching me, and it's like, I want her to know, no matter how old you are, no matter what happens in between, you could always do what you put your heart to, and you just go for it, no matter what it is. So.
Right. And one of the popular networks is BET. It's been around for a very long time. And you got to do some shows on BET. Just talk about what that experience was like.
That was amazing. So I was considered an extra, or like a featured extra, where I was on a dating show called Hell Date. It was really fun. They would have real people thinking they were going on an actual date, but who they were going on a date with was an actual actor or actress. And so they start off with, an example was, one of the actresses was very small chested. So, they had me come in, or like a bunch of people doing extra things that would take the date's like vision towards me. And then the actress would get mad and get angry. So basically I was like the decoy. I was the one that would make the actual person on a date more uncomfortable, which I feel like I do in real life too. So it kind of worked out.
That's awesome. But Dee, the other thing too is you've been in a lot of music videos, and music videos, I'm sure, have to be fun as well, because yes, you have to do it the way they ask you, but you're getting to dance and things like that. Yeah. So that's got to be something that's really what makes the job a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so fun. It's fun being around all the artists. Like, I love R&B music. And when I lived in Atlanta and I was doing these music videos, it was for amazing artists. I was in music videos with Ludacris, Mario, Lloyd. I mean, you name it. I was meeting and being around them all the time, because I had a lot of friends that were in the music industry as well. So it was fun to actually be in front of the camera and, be seen and dance around. And I don't know, it's something that I just always loved. I love being made up. I love getting dressed. I love being spoiled. I love having the limelight on me. It's always been a thing to me. Like, even with jobs that I take, doing events and promotions, like, I love when I'm able to show people why I'm there. It's like, I'm good. I'm here because I'm this good. I'm here. I do this because of this. it's never like a luck thing for me. It's like, I'm very motivated when it comes to things. And like you said earlier, it's like, that is my dream. And, at 46, I'm still going and I'm still trying. And, obviously it's like, when there's a path, it may not happen right away, or you may get stuck in between. But when things are meant for you, they come back around full circle. Completely believe this.
Yeah. And it sounds like the most important thing, Dee, is the positive attitude you have, because you have to remain positive or it's not going to work out for you. And I think about some of the event promotions you've done, and they kind of coined the phrase director of fun. So just talk about those experiences as well.
Yeah, so I work for a huge radio station here in Connecticut with multiples, and my job there is director of fun. So I'm in charge of all the fun stuff. I'm the person that contacts you about your tickets to go to the concerts. I'm the person, if you come to the suite at the concert, I make sure everything is fun, you're good, you don't need anything. I do the parties, I decorate for all the events for the clients. I basically do it all. And that kind of melts over into my events for like different brands that use me to represent their brands and go out in events, golf tournaments, the casino events where you go to the tequila fest. I'm the one, decorating and making sure, like, I basically just create the fun environment. So yeah, I am director of fun basically all over, but I love that title because, I mean, like you said, with a positive attitude, you have to have that. And for me to find amazing jobs that allow me to be me without judging, without people getting jealous, it's a great environment to be in. And I've gotten very lucky and very blessed to have jobs that I have right now that, just let me be me. And it's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, I think about this too, is like you have the motivation, and being motivated is a big part of why you are successful at doing these things. And we're going to get to 99 to beat. But here's the thing about that is that doesn't happen if you just throw in the towel and you give up. You wanted something, you got it. And now you're getting to really experience this great opportunity. And think about this, Dee. There's so many, when we were kids, you had like ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS. You didn't have all these streaming networks. So there's so much more that you could do creatively. So you have this great, opportunity now. So I think streaming has really helped a lot in so many actresses and actors' success.
For sure. It's nice because Fox picked up this show, which was amazing because I don't know if you know, but before Fox picked it up, it was actually created and done in Europe. So I forgot the first place, but I think London. I don't remember the second place, but it was all Europe. But they never left YouTube. You had to go on YouTube and find it. They didn't really push it. It didn't reach over here. But what's funny is that they actually flew us to London for the show. And it was, Fox bought it, took care of it. We were recording in Apple Studios in Enfield, England. So, it's funny. And I feel bad because honestly, when we found out we were going on 99 to beat, we all went into YouTube and started watching the European version because we're like, we need to see what's going on. But again, they didn't tell us what the name was for a while. So to be able to see some of the games like made me feel a little better, scared, but a little better. So yeah.
And Dee, let me ask you, had you ever inquired about like other reality shows or game shows that are all over the place? I mean, had you ever looked into that before 99 came about?
Yeah, I actually was supposed to go on a couple of shows. I got very, very close to getting on them, but I didn't get them. And talking about being discouraged. So when I moved back to Connecticut, they wanted me on the Bad Girls Club, which is kind of funny because I'm a bad girl, but not really a bad girl. They actually, I have this persona. I think I'm very nurturing. And that's why they wanted me on, because if you've ever seen the Bad Girls, it's like a horror. It's like a crazy show. Like people are fighting and screaming and it's like constantly people butting heads. And I think they thought if they brought me on, I'd be the peacemaker, the mom. And I feel like that happens a lot everywhere I go because I am that person naturally. And I didn't end up getting that show, but I was like top 10. And then another show I was supposed to go on was For the Love of Ray J, when he had a dating show. And I was supposed to go on that, and I made the top 5, but one of the girls was very similar to me, so they ended up choosing her, not me. And I kind of stepped back for a little while when I moved back from Connecticut and said, you know, the opportunities right now aren't really there. I had a daughter, I became a mom, and then I actually started having her do auditions in the city and things like that, where she booked, and kind of stepped out of that zone for myself and started focusing on her. But now that she's 15, I'm like, you know, this opportunity came out of, like, when I say nowhere, one of my friends from Atlanta had posted the casting, and I'm like, that sounds like me, energetic, love to play games, love to meet new people. I'm like, let's try it. So, but like I said, it came out of nowhere. One day I just happened to be on Instagram and I saw my friend post it, and I just sent my info in. And again, it's like one of those things you do and you're like, maybe you'll hear back, maybe you won't. And yeah, that's just how it went.
And that really is cool, because a lot of times when you don't have a big expectation for something, something good does come out of it. Yeah. But let me ask you too, Dee, you had talked about modeling, and you did magazines, you did commercials, things like that. Now, are you ever nervous when you're doing different things, because you want to make sure you're doing it the way the directors want you to do it, things like that? And although, like, you know, modeling can be fun, it could be, you know, challenging as well. Do you ever get nervous when you're doing things like that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm always nervous. The nerves are always there. They never go away. For like the music videos and stuff, I guess I was okay, because the one good thing was we were always the same group of girls that went for the same things. And so like we kind of built a friendship. So it was like, hey, are you going to that casting? Hey, are you going to be in that video? Hey. And you start to get known. That's the one thing about TV, is like once you're on something, people continue to ask you. So now I went from, who is that, to, oh, I wonder if Dee could be in this video. I wonder if she can do this. So, I mean, yeah, I always get nervous. The nerves are always there because you don't know what to expect. Like, am I going to be the girl in front of the camera? Or am I going to be like, oh, that's the back of my head? Or, you know, it's always something. You're just always nervous about everything. And it's what they want. Like, they may want me and they cast me and I get it. But then I get there and there's somebody else that they chose, or the artist was like, no, I want her next to me. Or even I did a music video a long time ago with Asia Cruz, a very beautiful young girl, and she was Asian and absolutely gorgeous. And they had another girl to kind of compete with her in the video for the boyfriend. But once I stepped in, they moved her aside and I ended up being that role. So it's like, you never know what's going to happen when you're there. It's about, like you said, it's about being a people person, because you could be the most beautiful girl in this industry, and I've seen it firsthand, but they're so ugly inside. They're so mean. They don't want to be around you. They're better than you. And you're just kind of like, okay, no big deal. But directors see that. People see that. And nobody wants to deal with a difficult person, a difficult actress. That's why we hear so many things about so many people in the industry. Like, that person's a great actress, but she threw a phone at her assistant's head. Like, you know what I mean? And, you know, and they kind of push her to the side and find somebody else. So it's always about that positive attitude and always going into everything fresh-minded, because you never know, things can change when you're there. So.
Right. So now let's get right into it. 99 to beat, which, I mean, Dee, I'll tell you, like, and we're going to talk more about that second episode, but like, I couldn't tell you how proud I was, because like, I'm just saying, oh my God, you know, this is that kid I knew in high school who was so polite to everybody. And then getting to see you kind of live your dream out, because guess what? A lot of people watch these shows. They love them and things like that. But take me back. Like, I have to imagine, like, once you were invited to do this, like, people just think, oh, they do an episode, they play games and stuff. But I bet you one episode is a long process.
So long. Okay. So our day basically started off. I had a routine. I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, take the longest bath of my life. Like, I would do like an hour bath in the morning. We had to be downstairs from the hotel by like 8, it depends, like 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'd all meet up together and then we'd walk over. We were about a block, like a half a block away from the studio. They purposely put us right there, so it was easy to get to. We would get there, and that's where the anxiety would kind of hit because we're in a rush. There's 100 of us to start with in this room. Okay. I don't think it's that big. Like we definitely filled it. It was super loud all the time. That made it more stressful. We would get there. Some of us would be in our outfits. So the outfits was probably the most difficult, craziest part about it. When we got casted, I found out the Friday before I had to fly out where I was going, what I needed to bring, where, what was going to happen with the show. Like it was literally in a week I was out of here. And Fox was like, hey, I need you to find one outfit that we like times 3. And I'm like, okay. So we kept, all of us, 100 of us, sending back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I finally get this outfit. I'm like, good, I'm good to go. I fly out. I get there. And the night before we show up for the show, Fox wants to see my outfit on me. They didn't think it was good enough. It wasn't bright enough. I told them I had another one. I get stuck wearing the yellow outfit that I only had one of. That was stressful, but it was okay. So anyway, we get there the next day. The point of that was they had to wash my outfit every 2 days. So people would have multiple outfits. And when we would get there, they'd already be dressed. Me, I'd have to wait for it to be steamed. And they were like, hurry up, you have to get mic'd and you have to make, so it was like a lot. It starts off with a lot of anxiety. And just that part alone, getting mic'd, doing things like that took about 2 hours. Then they'd walk us down the longest hallway you'll ever see. And then we'd stand there for an hour. So it's like you're nervous nonstop. You don't know when you're going to get in on set. Then we walk in and we're in another room. And then we finally get on set and you're like ready. You're like pumping yourself up like, oh, I can't wait for this game. Then you're there another hour. So right there, I think it's like by the time we actually got on set was about 4 hours.
Wow.
So it was a very long day. And in those days, I think we probably played 2 games a day because when we finally got on set to play the game, depending on the game would take 50 minutes, depending on what it was. And then they'd be like, okay, lunchtime. So then we'd get off, we'd go have an hour or 2 and then head back again. And the same 4-hour routine would happen again. So we were on set having to be ready for 12 to 14 hours a day. It were very long days.
Wow. And that's incredible. And I'm sure the adrenaline kept you from being tired, but that seems very tiring and exhausting as well. So while it's fun, I'm sure like going through it, it was a little, a little overwhelming as well.
It was. And all those nerves get you tired. So a lot of times people wouldn't eat lunch. They would take naps. So I have pictures of everybody like sleeping on the floor. We had bean bags. Like everybody would take power naps. And like, it was a lot on your body. Like, the food was very different. If you've ever gone to England or Europe, period, like, nothing is, has salt and pepper. Everything was very bland. And, we're used to everything and having everything at our fingertips. They don't really believe in, ketchup or any of that. So that wasn't available. And we were like, what is happening? We lost weight, which was good. I like that part. So, but yeah, it was definitely exhausting because even though, it was a lot of on, a lot of off, your emotions are going crazy the whole time. And that itself is exhausting.
Yeah, it really is. And let me ask you, Dee, as you know, like the theme of it is you have to beat 99 other people. And so I was thinking about watching the episode the other night and, that poor guy, he was the 100th, or maybe it was the girl, I forget, but they were the first. Yes. They were the first to get off.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about you, like, were you thinking when you guys are doing these episodes, oh God, please don't let me be the first one. Like, and right now you're doing well. I think 76 or I think we're at 76 left, something like that, maybe 74.
Yeah.
But how nerve-wracking was that for you? Because like anything else, you go there and you love the experience, but you don't want to be one and done either.
No, that was one of my biggest fears. I had 2. One was to be the first to go home. I did not want it. My second fear was do not go home in a group challenge. I do not want to go home in a group challenge. So this is my 2 main things. So we're doing good so far.
Yeah. And Dee, obviously the first episode, we didn't see much of you. It was kind of like going through everything. But God, that second episode when you come on, and I just thought it was so cool that you were the first one to find your t-shirt. Like I said to myself, okay, maybe she wouldn't be the last one, but God, to be the first one, I just thought that was unbelievable. And just talk to me a little bit about this, because that doesn't happen. And I'm thinking like this Derby kid, she found her t-shirt first. She gets to be interviewed. You know, it was so cool. And I would think no matter what happens going forward, Dee, when you have something like that, you could, oh, it's like, you know, if you were on Wheel of Fortune, you solved the first puzzle. You always have that moment that they can't take away from you.
Right. It was definitely crazy. I was so nervous about this, and like there were a few pictures I was laughing at because I literally was in this like stance, like to run, like my leg was forward. I put my hair in a ponytail. I tied my jacket around my waist. Like I was like, I'm doing this. Like one of the things I was most nervous about was I was one of the shorter ones. There was 3 very short ones, and I was one of them. So a lot of times, even with the first episode, like the first thing I thought of, just get down, because they never let me in. I'm like this little tiny person trying to get in. So in my head, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be first. So I ended up being really fast running in, but nobody would let me in. And that frustrated me so bad. And I was like, you know what? Fine. So then Danny, which was also a Survivor winner, she was there and she was wearing the same outfit as me, but like a red long pant one. And all of a sudden her legs were like 2 red, like legs like this. And I'm like, why does that remind me of an arrow? So I like ran between her legs and I like grabbed the first shirt I saw. And it's funny when you listen to the audio, you'll hear me go, we got this, we got this. Then you'll hear me go, oh my God. And then I'll squeal and I'll be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because I grabbed the shirt. I looked at it when I was down on the ground and it was my shirt. I literally snatched the first shirt and I got up and I kind of froze because I'm like, wait, am I the only one? And then I just ran. And it was the most incredible feeling because I don't think I'm the luckiest person. I will say that. Like I literally work my butt off for everything in my life, like be auditions, be anything, be jobs, be anything. So for me to finally have one lucky, cool moment, it felt so good. And I was so giddy and so cheesy. And like, you know, when you're on TV as a girl, we're like, oh my God, what are we going to look like? I want to make sure I look super cute. I did not look cute one time in this show. And it's fine. You know why? Because I found the first shirt. I was so excited. I was like red and sweaty. And I was just so proud of myself because I don't know how that happened. That was crazy to me.
Yeah. And Dee, I think about this too. So you have that moment, but in the back of your mind, you had to be like, God, I could still get eliminated in this episode. There were still things to go on. And, you know, the one thing I thought about, Dee, I didn't see, you must have done this very quick, but I thought about the screws where you guys had to, I mean, you obviously had to finish that pretty quick because you weren't one of the last ones. So just talk about how hard that was.
So this was fun because they literally gave us 8 I guess are they screws, like different types of screws? I don't know the name of them specifically, and 1 chopstick. So we were not allowed to touch the table. We were allowed to touch the screws before we picked up the chopstick. So you arrange them the way you want. So of course, you know, you put them in order and then your arm had to be completely off. You were allowed to use your hand to like help steady yourself, but you were not allowed to touch the table at all once that chopstick was in your hand. So one rule was we needed to stack them obviously where you can see through it. It couldn't be flat, obviously. So the first thing I did, it took me 3 times to finally get it. I was out pretty fast. At first I tried to do it where I can see through all of them, but that didn't work. 2 times they fell over. And then I'm like, I'm not good at thinking out of the box, which sometimes I get nervous about with things like this. And finally, I'm like, wait a minute, I'll stagger them. And then I looked around, there was still a ton of people. So as I staggered, I did 1 this way, 1 this way, 1 this way. And I had enough time where I was able to use the chopstick and kind of center them perfectly so they weren't leaning over. There was enough time to not stress. So now I was in my own head and I decided to stand up and do it. Getting the last one on was the best feeling ever. And you have to raise your hand, you get the thumbs up, and you're out of there. So now it's just cheering on friends after that and hoping everybody's safe. But yeah, I was out pretty fast for that one, thank goodness.
Yeah, and I mean that one looked hard. It really did. Plus, like,
yeah,
if your hands are like nervous as you're doing it,
yeah,
it's not easy. And that's the other thing too, Dee. I have to believe that you made some friendships here because you guys all had to work together.
yes,
And I saw like how some people felt bad when somebody got eliminated. You
yeah.
could see. I thought about the two girls that were trying to find the shirts. I think it was or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's stressful too because one is like hoping she wins, the other's hoping she wins, but only one can.
Right.
So, I mean, how good was it to make new friends, but how disappointing was it when you saw that they got eliminated?
So with that, with the t-shirts and being the last one of them was actually one of my very best friends still till today. Her name is Michelle. She was with the green, and her and I met the very first day and we clung together. There was 5 of us. We call each other the Fab Five. So when we saw that she was one of the last ones, actually she was one of the 2 last ones, we were literally crying and like, oh my God, screaming. And now the problem with these games are you can't help. So if I saw her shirt, I can't scream, Michelle, it's right there. Or you can't talk. So it's a lot of, you got this, Michelle. Don't worry. You're going to get it. It was a lot more of like the cheerleader came back out of me because now I'm like rooting and chanting and trying to encourage her. And when she found it, let me tell you, the clip is crazy because as she runs, you see me running from across the screen and jumping on her. Like it was crazy because we kept looking out for each other. Like, okay, wait, you're there. Okay, we're good. It was crazy. And then when you see people leave, at that point, a lot of us have like teamed up with like friends, but we were all very open together. We all bonded. We all, so it was hard to see people leave. Because nobody wants to leave, and when you leave, they send you home. You don't get to hang out. You go home.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a hard thing to see when you see people that have been there and, you just get nervous. It makes you even more nervous because that could be you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, the stress alone, but I think you're having fun as well. So while you're stressed, you're playing these games too, and they're challenging as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure even though you're thinking about, oh, don't get eliminated, you're having so much fun that sometimes you're just trying to accomplish the mission that you're out there to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely fun, but those nerves, they get you. Like they definitely overpower anything else. And it's like, you're excited to do it. It's fun, but the anxiety and the stress literally just takes over. Like it takes over so much. We literally had a psychiatrist always on hand if we needed to talk. Like it was serious. Like it was, a lot of what a lot of people don't see. When you hear what the game is about, that's the second time we've heard it. We are backstage. Fox is there. Everybody's there. There are people recording. We are asking a million questions, a million of the same questions. They record us and we have to raise our hand if we understand the rules. Like they were very, very strict on it. So as much fun as it is, I mean, it is fun. I mean, we look back and it was a fun experience. But when you're there, it's very serious because it's for $1 million. So for $1 million, it's a lot more. Like the referees are there. They don't ever smile at you. They're not friendly. They're not allowed to be your friend. They're not allowed to hang out with you. They're not even allowed to smile if you smile at them. If you sneeze, there's no God bless you. Like they were very, very just like a mask. So it's like, you're out there and you see a friend's shirt, you want to like give it to them. You can't even say anything to them. It's a lot of pressure, but looking back, it was an amazing experience. It was super fun. Fun back then, probably going to the pub after was the fun. Being able to like reconnect with everybody and be like, oh, that day was crazy. That was the fun part.
Yeah, and I think about this too, Dee. You know, the hosts, they were very encouraging through this
Yeah.
whole thing. Did you get to talk to them at times? I mean, they seem like they were rooting for everybody, which
Yeah.
is what they should do, but they seem like they were very encouraging as well.
They were. I'm seeing a lot of comments that, people
Yeah, sorry
basically,
about that.
no, it's okay. I see a lot of like people saying, they wish that the hosts actually spoke with us more and basically were on the floor more with us. They did. They spoke to us when the cameras weren't on. They did talk to us. They would like make fun of people, and that was like super fun. They literally were very, very encouraging, but it was really fun to see. Erin Andrews is very Fox 5 sports, serious, focused, whereas Ken is empathetic, caring, nervous. Like they're so different. And it was really fun to watch the two of them interact. I
Yeah.
loved it. It was such a great experience. And I love the fact that they did speak to us. They even now when I post, he collabs with me. He collabs with a lot. We'll tag him. He'll accept our tags. When Janice, the first episode, when Janice went home with the first balloon challenge, we were at the premiere party in New York City, and Janice was in front of me, and we were all watching. And I ran and grabbed the lei, and I actually put it on her and had our friends record it, and I sent it to Ken, and he's like, I'm literally crying. Like he replied, I'm literally crying. And I love him. Like he is very, like he communicates with us, he encourages us, he's always talking to us. He went on a podcast with a friend of ours that was on the show, and he said it. He goes, the one thing that I loved about this show was the connection that you all had together. So he even saw us as one. Like, yes, we were all individually competing for $1 million, but the family unit till this day, we still have a 99 to beat WhatsApp. We talk every day. So it's like, it definitely bonded us. We call it a trauma bond, but at least it's a bond.
And it was funny, Dee. I think it was when you were doing the potato, and you were one of the last three. I mean, that we'll talk about that in a sec, but you kind of said, I didn't come here to go home. Like you were one of three, and you could have went home, but you were able to survive it. But
right.
I mean, let me ask you, were you sweating a lot doing that when you knew there were three left?
Oh, I was sweating. I was crying. Again, a moment where I didn't care what I looked like on television. I was a hot mess. And one thing about me is I'm very real. Like I said, like I always want to be cute and I always want to look good. But let me tell you, those feelings and emotions that I felt came out of nowhere. You think I wanted to ugly cry? Do you think I wanted to literally have a tantrum? Like I was so red and just sweaty, and I didn't know what was going to happen because, again, it's one of those things where you could be so good. I played softball. Like I had this, I thought, and it's like my arm was great, but like not good enough for Beth to be able to catch it. And then I felt bad. And then now it was our turn to now catch. And I didn't know what was going to happen. It was the first time that I was in the bottom and I did not like it. And again, you have to encourage yourself, but those nerves and those feelings just take over, and you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I was so thankful that, like, because especially when you were the first to grab the shirt, I said, don't let her get eliminated on that same episode. So that was great to see. But you know what? It's good you faced some adversity because you needed to do that to test yourself to see if you could overcome it, and you proved you could.
Yeah.
The other thing, Dee, you talked about the groups, and I was a little bothered by that. Like, I didn't think like somebody should get eliminated because they're in a group. But what was your feeling? Did you enjoy doing those groups, and were you okay with that?
No. That's one of the complaints I see. Like we all had to, because to me, I felt like we shouldn't have done group challenge. Obviously, I get it, but it's just so many people leaving so fast. And I get there's, I think 10 or 8, it's either 8 or 10 episodes, but I get you just have to narrow it down. But having those group challenges was super scary. And I just felt bad because, one of the examples was we had a family of 12. There was a group of a Mormon family, which I bonded with the first day, loved them to death. And the first one out was the mom in the musical challenge. She was out and she was the first one in the safe spot with her music and everything was set up. And to see her go was so heartbreaking. And to see a bunch of my friends leaving because of that situation and like it hurt my heart. And I wish we did not have group challenges, but I guess that's what, made it a little more interesting. But, even reading comments now, people are like, I don't get why they did that. So, I mean, it's definitely making a reaction. And TV loves things like this. So they knew what they were doing when they did it. It's just sad to see so many people leave at the same time. And like, when Janice was eliminated, they talked about Janice and she had a moment to shine. But with the groups, you really don't get that. You're just like, you guys all didn't make it to the next round. Sorry, you lost your million. Bye. So, that's hard to see. And, you do cry because you have those feelings like that could be you. So.
And let me ask you, Dee, going through this, not knowing what to expect, did you have some tough nights sleeping while this process was going on?
I definitely did. My thing I did, like I said, in the morning, I took a hot bath. And when I got back, I had a hot bath as well. It was like something I did to calm my nerves, but it was really hard to sleep because, not being able to really speak with your fam and like being able to vent to them or like tell them like what's going on. We weren't allowed to. So it was really hard to just basically be alone because also we didn't share rooms. So once we were done at night, we just went to our own rooms and, we're in our own head. So it was a lot of, oh my God, how is it going to be tomorrow? Please let me make it. It was just, like I said, you're in your head so much. You really can't sleep. And it was just hard. It was a lot of it was really hard to go through. But again, it's an experience I went through and I loved every part of it. But it was definitely not easy at night. So.
Right. No doubt about it. So right now there's been 2 episodes. How many episodes are there total for this season?
I feel like there's either 8 or 10. I don't even know. I have to like look. I don't even know, but I think it's between 8 and 10. So we're on 3 now. So about to be 3 in 2 days. So I don't know. I'll find out for sure. I feel like it's 8 or 10. I just don't remember which one it is.
And that's really a long, like you said, the amount of stuff you do for each episode, that's really a long time. And obviously I'm not going to ask you to spoil anything for anybody. Yeah. But the one thing I will ask you, when this process was over, did you leave with no regrets with it? Like, was it everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got to experience something not a lot of people can experience. I wanted to go to London my whole life. I literally got to fly out to London for almost 3 weeks. And it was the best time of my life. Like I've met incredible people from all over the world. I mean, there were Americans that lived in Scotland and Paris and actually live in England and are from here, but live there for amazing jobs or opportunities. And, I left knowing that I could do so much more that I never thought I can do. Like going into the process, you're like, oh God, please let me make it here. Let me do this. Let me do that. Oh, it's going to be easy. But, I just proved to myself that like, I can do whatever I want to do. Still to this day, like all it made me think is, okay, what's next? What am I going to do next? I'm not stopping there. Like I literally am ready for whatever comes to me. I feel like at this point, if it wasn't meant for me to do anything, this wouldn't have come around again at 46 years old. And, and the best opportunity, I think I can consider this probably the best thing I ever got out of everything that I've ever gone for. And it's like, I feel like it's a taste of what I want. And like I said, I'm not stopping on this show. The youngest person was 18. The oldest was 77. It doesn't matter how old you are and what you think you're good of. Like I said, I know I'm not good about thinking out of the box sometimes. And especially in like situations like that, you're not really thinking straight. And I proved to myself that I can do anything, almost anything I want to do, I can do. And that's literally like all that has done is make me even more positive and more ready to just dive into whatever comes next.
Yeah. And Dee, you talked about your daughter a few times, and I know like that's been the most rewarding thing for you in
Yeah.
life. And I could tell how proud you are when she's doing great at soccer, doing great in school, and how like special has it been like to be able to do this, and she gets to kind of see her mother, fulfilling her dreams, because we know that you want to see her fulfill hers. So it has to be very special for the two of you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, I when I got this opportunity, I told her, I said, "Are you going to miss me? Are you going to be okay without me? I literally do everything for you. Mom, I'm going to be fine. You have to do this. I'm going to miss you, but it's going to be fine." Like I did it because I wanted her to see what I can do. I am like she literally is my motivation every day. Especially her being in high school, like she goes through different things. And like I tell her, it's about how you feel on the inside and how you feel about yourself and how we are as a family. That's the most important thing. Schools have bullies, things like that, but she knows her mama bear is always here for her. And I need her, and I wanted her to see how confident I am in myself. And no matter if I'm 5 feet tall and had struggles doing a lot of these challenges, guess what? I did them. I did them. I came out first in one of them. Like, you just have to know that if you want something bad enough, you just have to go for it no matter what.
Right. So I don't want you to spoil anything, obviously, but is there any little thing you can tell the people, your friends and stuff like that? Like, let's put it this way. Can we expect some more surprises in these next couple episodes?
Oh, for sure. It's only getting better. It's only getting better. Like, you think these challenges look hard? It's getting better and better. Remember, it's for $1 million. So they're not getting easier. They're getting harder. So yeah, you just got to watch and see. Wednesdays at 9 o'clock on Fox. And if you miss it on Wednesdays, you could watch it on Disney the next day or Hulu. So you could always find it.
Right. So, Dee, before we go, what's the best advice you could give to somebody who is kind of like similar to you? There's somebody that's like 25 years old and they want to do something in this type of field and they might get discouraged. What advice would you give them? Because when you think about it, you've had this goal since high school. I remember in your 20s, it was something you wanted to do. And at 46 years old, listen, like I said, with the shirts, you're the first shirt you grab. You do something that, you did it because you didn't give up. So what advice would you give to somebody that's like a Dee Ortiz was 20 some odd years ago?
I would say go for everything. You see a casting, you see an audition, you don't know if you want to do something. Just go for it. Don't let anybody stop you because you're curvy, because you're a little thicker, because you're too old, because you're too young, because you can't get somewhere, you can't get to an audition. Go for it. Find a way to always go for what you want, because let's go back to me a long time ago, 2000, I don't even know what year it was. I used to dance on MTV at 1515 Broadway. And guess where I was 2 weeks ago? At 1515 Broadway, looking at myself on a huge bulletin board in Times Square that was bigger than every other ad in Times Square. It was me. I was on this ad, literally the next building over from where I used to dance on MTV. Did I ever think that I would see myself on a billboard in Times Square that big? No, but guess who was there? Me. Why? Because I never gave up, and I'm still not going to give up. And this is not the last you're going to see of me. You're going to see me on a ton of more things. Like, just follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you can't do something, because if you feel it in your soul, that's where I feel it, then you just have to go for whatever you want, because it's going to come to you. It may not happen right away. It may happen when you're way older, example. But again, here I am, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very excited about all the opportunities that I've gotten, and I'm blessed to be back with an old friend from high school talking on his podcast.
Well, Dee, I really appreciate you giving me some time. But first off, everybody that knows you, went to school with you, still associates with you, we're all proud of you. I mean, what you've done is remarkable, and it's really because of the hard work you put in. And we're just so happy and, like I said, proud of you. So congratulations, because even if you don't win this, you won in my book, because You went out and did it, and you've already won. So congratulations, and I really do applaud you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Well, folks, there you have it. You just got to know Dee Ortiz for the last hour. And I think the thing that stands out the most to me is her determination. That's always been Dee. It's fortitude, determination, resiliency. She has them all because throughout her life, she's had challenges. And every challenge she seemed to have, she took it like a champion, overcame it, and always reached the finish line. Look at this show on Fox right now, 99 to Beat. Like I said before, and I know I sound like a broken record, but she was the first one to grab her shirt the other night. And that didn't happen by accident. It happened because of the determination she has, the perseverance. That's always been Dee Ortiz. And you can see right on the screen here, that picture says, I could do anything as long as I believe in myself. And she always has. And the best advice she just gave was follow your dreams. Don't give up. I think she has a quote that we could all agree with. Don't dream it, be it. Well, Dee Ortiz is it. And we're so proud of her. For Hometown Heroes, I'm Mike Kenichi. This is Dee Ortiz saying good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.